still dancing?
Yeah, if you can call it that.
Just get the car keys.
Got them out of her bag.
Where is she?
Junior Minister for Transport, was found late last night on a building site in Greater London. Preliminary investigation suggests that this was suicide. We can confirm that this apparent suicide closely resembles those of Sir Geoffrey Patterson and James Phillimore. In the light of this, these incidents are now being treated as linked. The investigation is ongoing, but Detective Inspector Lestrade will take questions now.
Detective Inspector, how can suicides be linked?
Well, they all took the same poison. They were all found in places they had no reason to be. None of them had shown any prior indication.
Have serial suicides.
Well, apparently you can.
These three people, there's nothing that links them?
There's no link we found yet, but we're looking for it. There has to be one.
If you've all got texts, please ignore them.
Just says wrong.
Yeah, well, just ignore that. Okay, if there are no more questions for Detective Inspector Lestrade, I'm going to bring this session to an end.
If they're suicides, what are you investigating?
As I say, these suicides are clearly linked. But it's an unusual situation. We've got our best people investigating.
Says wrong again.
One more question.
Is there any chance that these are murders? And if they are, is this the work of a serial killer?
I know that you like writing about these, but these do appear to be suicides. We know the difference. The poison was clearly self-administered.
Yes, but if they are murders, how do people keep themselves safe?
Well, don't commit suicide.
Daily Mail.
Obviously, this is a frightening time for people, but all anyone has to do is exercise reasonable precautions. We are all as safe as we want to be. Thank you.
You've got to stop him doing that. He's making us look like idiots.
If you can tell me how he does it, I'll stop it.
John Watson. Stamford. Mike Stamford. We were bots together.
Yes, sorry, yes. Mike, hello. Hi.
Yeah, I know. I got fat.
No.
I heard you were abroad somewhere getting shot at. What happened?
I got shot. Are you still at Bart's then?
Teaching now. Yeah, bright young things like we used to be. God, I hate them. What about you? Just staying in town till you get yourself sorted?
Can't afford London on an army pension.
And you couldn't bear to be anywhere else. That's not the John Watson I know.
Yeah, I'm not the John Watson.
Couldn't Harry help?
Yeah, like that's gonna happen.
I don't know. Get a flat share or something?
Come on. Who'd want me for a flatmate? What?
You're the second person to say that to me today.
Who's the first?
How fresh?
Just in. 67 natural causes. Used to work here. I knew him. He was nice.
Fine. We'll start with the riding crop.
So, bad day was it?
I need to know what Bruce is for in the next 20 minutes. A man's alibi depends on it. Text me.
Listen, I was wondering, maybe later, when you're finished.
You're wearing lipstick. You weren't wearing lipstick before.
I refreshed it a bit.
Sorry, you were saying?
I was wondering if you'd like to have coffee.
Black, 2 sugars, please. I'll be upstairs.
Okay.
different from my day.
You've no idea.
Mike, can I borrow your phone? There's no signal on mine.
Well, what's wrong with the landline?
I prefer to text.
Sorry, it's in my coat.
Here. Use mine.
Oh, thank you.
It's an old friend of mine, John Watson.
Afghanistan or Iraq?
Sorry?
Which was it, Afghanistan or Iraq?
Afghanistan. Sorry, how did you...
Ah, Molly, coffee, thank you. What happened to the lipstick?
It wasn't working for me.
Really? I thought it was a big improvement. Mouth's too small now.
Okay.
How do you feel about the violin?
Sorry, what?
I play the violin when I'm thinking. Sometimes I don't talk for days on. And would that bother you? Potential flatmates should know the worst about each other.
Well, you told him about me.
Not a word.
Then who said anything about flatmates?
I did. Told Mike this morning that I must be a difficult man to find a flatmate for. Now here he is, just after lunch with an old friend, clearly just home from military service in Afghanistan. No difficult leap.
How did you know about Afghanistan?
Got my eye on a nice little place in central London. Together we ought to be able to afford it. We'll meet there tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock. Sorry, got a dash. I think I left my riding crop in the mortuary.
Is that it?
Is that what?
We've only just met, and we're going to go look at a flat.
Problem?
We don't know a thing about each other. I don't know where we're meeting. I don't even know your name.
I know you're an army doctor and you've been invalided home from Afghanistan. I know you've got a brother who's worried about you, but you won't go to him for help because you don't approve of him, possibly because he's an alcoholic, more likely because he recently walked out on his wife. And I know that your therapist thinks you're limp psychosomatic quite correctly, I'm afraid. It's enough to be going on with, don't you think? The name's Sherlock Holmes and the address is 221B Baker Street. Afternoon.
Yeah. He's always like that.
Hello.
Mr. Holmes.
Sherlock, please.
Oh, this is a prime stock. Must be expensive.
Mrs. Hudson, the landlady, she's given me a special deal. Owes me a favor. A few years back, her husband got himself sentenced to death in Florida. I was able to help out.
Sorry, you stopped her husband being executed?
Oh, no, I insured it.
Sherlock.
Mrs. Hudson, Dr. John Watson.
Hello. Thank you.
Shall we?
Well, this could be very nice. Very nice indeed.
Yes. Yes, I think so. My thoughts precisely. So I
As
went
soon as we
straight
get all
ahead and
this
moved in.
rubbish cleaned out. Oh. So this is
Well,
all,
obviously I can straighten things up a bit.
It's a skull.
Friend of mine. When I say friend.
What do you think then, Dr. Watson? There's another bedroom upstairs if you've been needing 2 bedrooms.
Of course we'll be needing 2.
Oh, don't worry, there's all sorts around here. Mrs. Turner next door's got married once. Oh, Sherlock, the mess you've made.
I looked you up on the internet last night.
Anything interesting?
Found your website, The Science of Deduction.
What did you think?
You said you could identify a software designer by his tie and an airline pilot by his left thumb?
Yes. And I could read your military career in your face and your leg and your brother's drinking habits in your mobile phone.
How?
What about these suicides then, Sherlock? Thought that'd be right up your street. 3 exactly the same.
4. There's been a 4th. There's something different this time.
A 4th?
Where?
Brixton, Lauriston Gardens.
What's new about this one? You wouldn't have come to get me if there wasn't something different.
You know how they never leave notes?
Yeah.
This one did. Will you come?
Who's on forensics?
It's Anderson.
Anderson won't work with me.
Well, he won't be your assistant.
I need an assistant.
Will you come?
Not in a police car, I'll be right behind.
Thank you.
Brilliant! Yes! 4 serial suicides and now a note. It's Christmas. Mrs. Hudson, I'll be late. Might need some food.
I'm your landlady, dear, not your housekeeper.
Something cold will do. John, have a cup of tea. Make yourself at home. Don't wait up.
Look at him dashing about. My husband was just the same. But you're more the sitting down type, I can tell. I'll make you that cuppa. You rest your leg.
Damn my leg! Sorry. I'm so sorry. It's just sometimes this bloody thing.
I understand, dear. I've got a hip.
A cup of tea would be lovely. Thank you.
Just this once, dear. I'm not your housekeeper.
A couple of biscuits too, if you've got them.
Not your housekeeper.
You're a doctor. In fact, you're an army doctor.
Yes.
Any good?
Very good.
Seen a lot of injuries then. Violent deaths.
Yes.
Bit of trouble too, I bet.
Of course, yes. Enough for a lifetime, far too much.
Want to see some more?
Oh, God, yes.
Sorry, Mrs. Hudson, I'll skip the tea. Off out.
Both of you?
Possible suicides. 4 of them. There's no point sitting at home when there's finally something fun going on.
Look at you all happy. It's not decent.
Who cares about decent? The game, Mrs. Hudson, is on. Taxi! Okay, you've got questions.
Yeah, where are we going?
Crime scene. Next.
Who are you? What do you do?
What do you think?
I'd say private detective.
But
But the police don't go to private detectives.
I'm a consulting detective. The only one in the world that invented the job.
What does that mean?
It means when the police are out of their depth, which is always, they consult me.
The police don't consult amateurs.
When I met you for the first time yesterday, I said Afghanistan or Iraq. You looked surprised.
Yes, how did you know?
I didn't know, I saw. Your haircut, the way you hold yourself says military. But your conversation as you entered the room
A bit different from my day.
said trained at Bart, so army doctor, obvious. Your face is tanned, but no tan above the wrists. You've been abroad but not sunbathing.
He limps really bad when he walks, but you don't ask for a chair when you stand like you've forgotten about it. So it's at least partly psychosomatic. That says the original circumstances of the injury were traumatic. Wounded in action, then. Wounded in action, Santan, Afghanistan, or Iraq.
You said I had a therapist.
Got a psychosomatic limp, of course you've got a therapist. Then there's your brother. Your phone, it's expensive, email-enabled MP3 player. Are you looking for a flat share? You wouldn't waste money on this. It's a gift, then. Scratch is not one, many over time. It's been in the same pocket as keys and coins. Man sitting next to me wouldn't treat as one luxury item like this. So it's had a previous owner. Next bit's easy, you know it already.
The engraving.
Harry Watson, clearly a family member who's given you his old phone. Not your father, this is a young man's gadget. Could be a cousin, but you're a war hero who can't find a place to live. Unlikely you've got an extended family, certainly not one you're close to, so brother it is. Now, Clara. Who's Clara? 3 Kisses says there's a romantic attachment. At Spencer, the phone says wife, not girlfriend. She must have given it to him recently. This model's only 6 months old. Marriage in trouble, then. 6 months on, he's just given it away. If she'd left him, he would have kept it. People do. Sentiment. No, he wanted rid of it. He left her. He gave the phone to you. That says he wants you to stay in touch. You're looking for cheap accommodation, and you're not going to your brother for help. It says you've got problems with him. Maybe you liked his wife. Maybe you don't like his drinking.
How can you possibly know about the drinking?
Shot in the dark. Good one, though. Power connection, tiny little scuff marks around the edge of it. Every night he goes to plug it in to charge, but his hands are shaking. We never see those marks on a sober man's phone, never see a drunk's without them. There you go, see, you were right.
I was right. Right about what?
The police don't consult amateurs.
That was amazing.
You think so?
Of course it was. It was extraordinary. It was quite extraordinary.
It's not what people normally say.
What do people normally say?
Piss off. Did I get anything wrong?
Harry and me don't get on. Never have. Clara and Harry split up 3 months ago. They're getting a divorce. Harry is a drinker.
Spot on, then. I didn't expect to be right about everything.
Harry's short for Harriet.
Harry's your sister.
But what exactly am I supposed to be doing here? Sister? No, seriously, what am I doing here?
Always something.
Hello, freak.
I'm here to see Detective Inspector Lestrade.
Why?
I was invited.
Why?
I think he wants me to take a look.
Well, you know what I think, don't you?
Always, Sally. You know you didn't make it home last night.
Who's this?
Colleague of mine, Dr. Watson. Dr. Watson, Sergeant Sally Donovan. Old friend.
A colleague? How do you get a colleague? Did he follow you home?
Would it be better if I just waited?
No.
Freak's here, bringing him in.
Ah, Anderson. Here we are again.
It's a crime scene. I don't want it contaminated. Are we clear on that?
Quite clear. And is your wife away for long?
Oh, don't pretend you worked that out. Somebody told you that.
Your deodorant told me that.
My deodorant.
It's for men.
Well, of course it's for men. I'm wearing it.
So, Sergeant Donovan. Whew, I think it just vaporized. May I go in?
Now, look, whatever you're trying to imply...
I'm not implying anything. I'm sure Sally came round for a nice little chat and just happened to stay over. And I assume she scrubbed your floors, going by the state of her knees. You should wear one of these.
Who's this?
He's with me.
But who is he?
I said he's with me.
Aren't you going to put one on?
So where are we?
Upstairs.
German for revenge. She could be trying...
So we know she was staying one night. Now,
One day we'll be standing around a body and Sherlock Holmes will be the one that put it there.
Yes, I know.
Kind to make friends.
not given the text I just had you send.
Time. Remarkable.
What is?
Most people blunder around this city and all they see are streets and shops and cars. When you walk with Sherlock Holmes, you see the battlefield. You've seen it already, haven't you?
What's wrong with my hand?
You have an intermittent tremor in your left hand. Your therapist thinks it's post-traumatic stress disorder. She thinks you're haunted by memories of your military service.
Who the hell are you? How do you know that?
Fire her. She's got it the wrong way around. You're under stress right now and your hand is perfectly steady. You're not haunted by the war, Dr. Watson. You miss it. Welcome back. Time to choose a side.
21B Baker Street.
Bravery is by far the kindest word for stupidity, don't you? Hurting you. Sit down.
I don't want to sit down.
You don't seem very afraid.
You don't seem very frightening.
Yes. The bravery of the soldier. Bravery is by far the kindest word for stupidity, don't you think? What is your connection to Sherlock Holmes?
I don't have one. I barely know him. I met him yesterday.
And since yesterday, you've moved in with him, and now you're solving crimes together. Might we expect a happy announcement by the end of the week?
Who are you?
An interested party.
Interested in Sherlock? Why? I'm guessing you're not friends.
You've met him. How many friends do you imagine he has? I'm the closest thing to a friend that Sherlock Holmes is capable of having.
And what's that?
An enemy.
An enemy?
In his mind, certainly. If you were to ask him, he'd probably say his arch-enemy. He does love to be dramatic.
Well, thank God you're above all that.
I hope I'm not distracting you.
Not distracting me at all.
Do you plan to continue your association with Sherlock Holmes?
I could be wrong, but I think that's none of your business.
It could be.
It really couldn't.
If you do move into 221B Baker Street, I'd be happy to pay you a meaningful sum of money on a regular basis to ease your way.
Why?
Because you're not a wealthy man.
In exchange for what?
Information. Nothing indiscreet, nothing you'd feel uncomfortable with. Just tell me what he's up to.
Why?
I worry about him constantly.
It's nice of you.
But I would prefer, for various reasons, that my concern go unmentioned. We have what you might call a difficult relationship.
No.
I haven't mentioned a figure.
Don't bother.
You're very loyal very quickly.
No, I'm not. I'm just not interested.
Trust issues, it says here.
What's that?
Could it be that you've decided to trust Sherlock Holmes of all people?
Who says I trust him?
You don't seem the kind to make friends easily.
Are we done?
You...
How do you know that?
Fire her. She's...
Ugh, breathing's boring.
Is that 3 patches?
It's a 3-patch problem.
Well, you asked me to come. I'm assuming it's important.
Oh, yeah, of course. Can I borrow your phone?
My phone?
Don't want to use mine. Always a chance the number will be recognized. It's on the website.
Mrs. Hudson's got a phone.
Yeah, she's downstairs. I tried shouting, but she didn't hear.
I was the other side of London.
There's no hurry.
Here. So was this about the case?
Her case.
Her case?
A suitcase, yes, obviously. The murderer took her suitcase first. Big mistake.
Okay, he took her case, sir.
It's no use. There's no other way. We'll have to risk it. On my desk, there's a number. I want you to send a text.
You've brought me here to send a text.
Text, yes. The number on my desk. What's wrong?
Just met a friend of yours.
A friend?
an enemy.
Oh, which one?
Your arch enemy. According to him, do people have arch enemies?
Did he offer you money to spy on me?
Yes.
Did you take it?
No.
Pity we could have split the fee. Think it through next time.
Who is he?
Most dangerous man you've ever met, and not my problem right now. On my desk, the number.
Jennifer Wilson. That was... Hang on. Wasn't that the dead woman?
Yes, that's not important. Just enter the number. You doing it?
Yes.
Have you done it?
Yet, hang on.
These words exactly. What happened at Lauriston Gardens? I must have blacked out. 22 Northumberland Street. Please come.
You blacked out?
What? No. No! Type and send it. Quickly. Have you sent it?
What's the address?
22 Northumberland Street. Hurry up.
That's the Pink Lady's case. That's Jennifer Wilson's case.
Yes, obviously. Oh, perhaps I should mention I didn't kill her.
I never said you did.
Why not, given the text I just had you send her? The fact that I have her case is a perfectly logical assumption.
Do people usually assume you're the murderer?
Now and then, yes.
Okay. How did you get this?
By looking.
Where?
The killer must have driven her to Lauriston Gardens. He could only keep her case by accident if it was in a car. Nobody could be seen with this case without drawing attention to themselves, particularly a man, which is statistically more likely. So obviously he felt compelled to get rid of it the moment he noticed he still had it. Wouldn't have taken him more than 5 minutes to realize his mistake. I checked every back street wide enough for a car 5 minutes from Lauriston Gardens, and anywhere you could dispose of a bulky object without being observed. Took me less than an hour to find the right skip.
Pink, you got all that because you realized the case would be pink.
Well, it had to be pink, obviously.
Why didn't I think of that?
Because you're an idiot. No, don't be like that. Practically everyone is. Now look, do you see what's missing?
From the case? How could I?
Her phone. Where's her mobile phone? There was no phone on the body. There's no phone in the case. We know she had one. That's her number there. You just texted.
Maybe she left it at home.
She has a string of lovers and she's careful about it. She never leaves her phone at home.
No. Why did I just send that text?
Well, the question is, where is her phone now?
She could have lost it.
Yes, or...
The murderer. You think the murderer has the phone?
Maybe she left it when she left her case. Maybe he took it from her for some reason. Either way, balanced probability is the murderer has her phone.
Sorry. What are we doing? Did I just text a murderer? What good will that do?
A few hours after his last victim, and now he receives a text that can only be from her. If somebody just found that phone, they'd ignore a text like that, but the murderer would panic.
Have you talked to the police?
4 people are dead. There isn't time to talk to the police.
So why are you talking to me?
Mrs. Hudson took my skull.
So I'm basically filling in for your skull?
Relax, you're doing fine.
Well? Well what?
Well, you could just sit there and watch telly.
Well, you want me to come with you?
I like company when I go out, and I think better when I talk aloud. Skull just attracts attention, so... Problem?
Yeah, Sergeant Donovan.
What about her?
She said, you get off on this, you enjoy it.
And I said dangerous, and here you are.
Damn it. Where are we going?
Northumberland Street's a 5-minute walk from here.
You think he's stupid enough to go there?
No, I think he's brilliant enough. I love the brilliant ones. They're also desperate to get caught.
Why?
Appreciation, applause, at long last the spotlight. It's the frailty of genius, John. It needs an audience.
Yeah.
This is his hunting ground, right here in the heart of the city. Now that we know his victims were abducted, that changes everything. Because all of his victims disappeared from busy streets, crowded places, but nobody saw them there. Think! Who do we trust, even though we don't know them? Who passes unnoticed wherever they go? Who hunts in the middle of a crowd?
I don't know, who?
Haven't the faintest. Hungry? Thank you, Billy. 22 Northumberland Street. Keep your eyes on it.
He's not just going to ring the doorbell, though, is he? Need to be mad.
He has killed 4 people.
Okay.
Sherlock, anything on the menu, whatever you want, free. On the house for you and for your date.
Do you want to eat?
I'm not his date.
This man got me off a murder charge.
This is Angelo. 3 years ago, I successfully proved to Lestrade at the time of a particularly vicious triple murder that Angelo was in a completely different part of town housebreaking.
You cleared my name?
I cleared it a bit. Anything happening opposite?
Nothing. But for this man, I'd have gone to prison.
You did go to prison.
I get a candle for the table. Small romantic.
I'm not his date.
You may as well eat. We might have a long wait.
Thanks. People don't have arch enemies.
Sorry?
In real life. There are no arch enemies in real life. Doesn't happen.
Doesn't it? Sounds a bit dull.
So who did I meet?
What do real people have, then, in their real lives?
Friends? People they know, people they like, people they don't like. Girlfriends, boyfriends?
Yes, well, as I was saying, dull.
You don't have a girlfriend, then?
Girlfriend? No, not really my area.
Oh, right. Do you have a boyfriend? Which is fine, by the way.
I know it's...
Sorry. I've got the cab number.
Good for you. Right turn, one way, roadwork, traffic lights. Bus lane, pedestrian crossing, left turn only, traffic lights.
Wait, sorry.
Come on, John.
Come on, John. We're losing him. Oh, this way. No, this way. Sorry. Police! Open her up!
No.
The most ridiculous thing I've ever done.
And you invaded Afghanistan.
That wasn't just me. Why aren't we back at the restaurant?
They could keep an eye out. It was a long shot anyway.
So what were we doing there?
Oh, just passing the time. And proving a point.
What point?
You.
Mrs. Hudson, Dr. Watson will take the room upstairs.
Says who?
Says the man at the door.
Sherlock texted me. He said you forgot this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sherlock, what have you done?
Mrs. Hudson.
Upstairs.
What are you doing?
Well, I knew you'd find a case. I'm not stupid.
You can't just break into my flat.
But you can't withhold evidence, and I didn't break into your flat.
Well, what do you call this, then?
It's a drugs bust.
Seriously? This guy, a junkie, have you met him?
John.
I'm pretty sure you could search this flat all day, you wouldn't find anything.
Why?
Never mind that, we found the case. According to...
The death of her daughter, somehow.
That was ages ago. Why would she still be upset? Not good?
Bit not good, yeah.
Yeah, but if you were dying, if you'd been murdered in your very last few seconds, what would you say?
Please, God, let me live.
Use your imagination.
I don't have to.
Yeah, but if you were clever, really clever, Jennifer Wilson running all those lovers, she was clever. She's trying to tell us something.
Isn't the doorbell working? Your taxi's here, Sherlock.
Order a taxi, go away.
Oh, dear, they're making such a mess. What are they looking for?
It's a drugs bust, Mrs. Hudson.
But they're just for my hip. They're herbal soothers.
Shut up, everybody! Shut up! Don't move, don't speak, don't breathe. I'm trying to think. Anderson, face the other way. You're putting me off.
What? My face is?
Everybody quiet and still. Anderson, turn your back.
Oh, for God's sake.
Get back now, please.
Think quick.
What about your taxi?
Mrs. Hudson!
Oh. She was clever, yes. She's cleverer than you lot, and she's dead. Do you see? Do you get it? She didn't lose her phone. She never lost it. She planted it on him. When she got out of the car, she knew that she was going to her death. She left the phone in order to lead us to her killer.
But how?
What do you mean, how? Rachel! Did you see? Rachel! She did her business on her phone, so it's a smartphone. It's email-enabled. So there was a website for her account. The username is her email address, and all together now, the password is...
Rachel.
So we can read her emails, so what?
Anderson, don't talk out loud. You lower the IQ of the whole street. We can do much more than just read her emails. It's a smartphone. It's got GPS, which means if you lose it, you can locate it online. She's leading us directly to the man who killed her.
Unless he got rid of it.
We know he didn't.
Come on, quickly!
Sherlock, dear, this taxi driver...
Mrs. Hudson, isn't it time for your evening soother? Let's get vehicles. Get a helicopter. We're going to have to move fast. This phone battery won't last forever.
But we'll just have a map reference, not a
To start?
Sherlock?
No, is it time for just anyone in London? It's the first proper lead that we've had.
Sherlock?
Where is it? Quickly, where?
Here, it's in 221 Baker Street.
I'm going to be here. How?
Well, maybe it was in the case when you brought it back and it fell out somewhere.
What, and I didn't notice it? Me? I didn't notice it.
Anyway, we texted him and he called back.
Guys, we're also looking for a mobile somewhere here. Belongs to the
Who
big...
do we trust? Even if we don't know them. Who passes unnoticed wherever they go? Who hunts in the middle of a crowd?
Sherlock, you okay?
What? Yeah, I'm fine.
So, how can the phone be here?
Dunno.
I'll try it again.
Good idea.
Hey, where are you going?
Fresh air, just popping outside for a moment. Won't be long.
You sure you're all right?
I'm fine.
Taxi for Sherlock Holmes.
I didn't order a taxi.
Doesn't mean you don't need one.
You're the cabbie. The one who stopped outside Northumberland Street. It was you, not your passenger.
See, no one ever thinks about the cabbie. It's like you're invisible. Just the back of an head. Proper advantage for a serial killer.
Is this a confession?
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what else. If you call the coppers now, I won't run. I'll sit quiet and they can take me down, I promise.
Why?
Because you're not going to do that.
Am I not?
I didn't kill those 4 people, Mr. Holmes. I spoke to them, and they killed themselves. If you get the coppers now, I promise you one thing. I will never tell you what I said.
No one else will die, though, and I believe they call that a result.
And you won't ever understand how those people died. What kind of result do you care about?
You don't get. Why have I got this blanket? They keep putting this blanket on me.
Yeah, it's for shock.
I'm not in shock.
Yeah.
Son.
Always so aggressive. It never occurred to you that you and I belong on the same side.
Oddly enough, no.
We have more in common than you like to believe. This petty feud between us is simply childish. People will suffer. And you know how it always upset Mummy.
I upset her? Me? It wasn't me that upset her, Mycroft.
No, wait. Mummy? Who's Mummy?
Mother, our mother. This is my brother, Mycroft. Putting on weight again.
Losing it, in fact.
He's your brother?
Of course he's my brother.
So he's not...
Not what?
I know. Criminal mastermind?
Close enough.
For goodness sake, I occupy a minor position in the British government.
He is the British government when he's not too busy being the British Secret Service or the CIA on a freelance basis. Good evening, Mycroft. Try not to start a war before I get home. You know what it does to the traffic.
So, when you say you're concerned about him, you actually are concerned?
Yes, of course.
I mean, it actually is a childish feud.
He's always been so resentful. You could imagine the Christmas dinners.
Yeah. No, God, no. I'd better, hello again.
Hello.
Yes, we met earlier on this evening.
Oh.
Okay.
Either way, we'd better upgrade their surveillance status. Grade 3, active.
Sorry, sir. Whose status?
Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson.
Unexpected item in bagging area. Please try again. Item not scanned. Please try again.
You can keep your voice down.
Card not authorized.
Yes, all
Please
right.
use an
I've got it.
alternative method of payment. Card not authorized. Please use an alternative method
Keep
of
it.
payment.
Keep that.
You took your time.
Yeah, I didn't get the shopping.
What? Why not?
Because I had a row in the shop with a chip and pin machine.
You had a row with the machine?
Sort of. It sat there and I shouted abuse. Have you got cash?
Take my card.
You could always go yourself. You know, you've been sitting there all morning. You've not even moved since I left. Well, what happened about that case you were offered, the Jarrier diamond?
Not interested. I sent them a message.
Don't worry about me, I can manage. Is that my computer?
Of course.
What?
Mine was in the bedroom.
What, and you couldn't be bothered to get up? It's password protected.
In a manner of speaking, took me less than a minute to guess yours. Not exactly Fort Knox.
Right, thank you. Oh. Need to get a job?
Oh, dull.
Listen, if you'd be able to lend me some...
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes.
Sebastian.
Hi, buddy. How long's it been? 8 years since I last clapped eyes on you?
This is my friend, John Watson.
Friend?
Colleague.
Right. Well, grab a pew. You need anything? Coffee? Water?
No.
No? We're all sorted here, thanks.
So, you're doing well. You've been abroad a lot.
Well, some.
Flying all the way around the world twice in a month.
Right. You're doing that thing. We were at uni together. This guy here had a trick he used to do.
It's not a trick.
He could look at you and tell you your whole life story.
Yes, I've seen him do it.
Put the wind up everybody. We hated him. We'd come down to breakfast in the formal hall, and this freak would know you'd been shagging the previous night.
I simply observed.
Go on, enlighten me. 2 trips a month, flying all the way around the world? You're quite right. How could you tell? You gonna tell me there was a stain on my tie from some special kind of ketchup you can only buy in Manhattan?
No,
Maybe it was the mud on my shoes.
I was just chatting with your secretary outside. She told me.
I'm glad you could make it over. We've had a break-in.
Sir William's office, bank's former chairman. Room's been left here like a sort of memorial. Someone broke in late last night.
What did they steal?
Nothing. Just left a little message.
"60 seconds apart. So, someone came up here in the middle of the night, splashed paint around, and left within a minute.
How many ways into that office?
Well, that's where this gets really interesting.
Every door that opens in this bank, it gets logged right here. Every walk-in cupboard, every toilet.
That door didn't open last night.
There's a hole in our security. Find it and we'll pay you. 5 figures. This is an advance. Tell me how he got in. There's a bigger one on its way.
I don't need an incentive, Sebastian.
He's kidding you, obviously. Shall I look after that for him? Thanks. 2 trips around the world this month. You didn't ask his secretary. You said that just to irritate him. How did you know?
Did you see his watch?
His watch?
Time is right, but the date was wrong. It said 2 days ago. Crossed the date line twice, but he didn't alter it.
Within a month. How'd you get that part?
New Brightening. It'll come out this February.
Okay. So you think we should sniff around here for a bit longer?
Got everything I need to know already, thanks. That graffiti was a message. Someone at the bank working on the trading floors. We find the intended recipient and...
They'll lead us to the person who sent it?
Obvious.
Well, there's 300 people up there. Who was it meant for?
Pillars.
What?
Pillars and the screens. Very few places you could see that graffiti from. That narrows the field considerably. And, of course, the message was left at 11:34 last night. That tells us a lot.
Does it?
Traders come to work at all hours. Some trade with Hong Kong in the middle of the night. That message was intended for somebody who came in at midnight. Not many Van Coombs in the phone book. Taxi!
So what do we do now? Sit here and wait for him to come back?
Just moved in.
What?
Floor above, new label.
Could have just replaced it.
No one ever does that.
Hello?
Hi, I live in the flat just below you. I don't think we've met.
No, well, I've just moved in.
Actually, I just locked my keys in my flat.
You want me to buzz you in?
Yeah, and can I use your balcony?
What?
Sherlock! Sherlock, you okay? Yeah, any time you feel like letting me in. Underwear.
Those symbols at the bank, the graffiti, why were they put there?
Some sort of code?
Obviously. Why were they painted? You want to communicate, why not use email?
Well, maybe he wasn't answering.
Oh, good, you follow.
Nope.
What kind of a message would everyone try to avoid? What about this morning? Those letters you were looking at?
Bills?
Yes. He was being threatened.
Bag this up, will you? And
Not by the gas
please,
board.
if you can get prints off this glass.
Ah, Sergeant. We haven't met.
Yeah, I know who you are, and I'd prefer it if you didn't tamper with any of the evidence.
I phoned Lestrade. Is he on his way?
He's busy. I'm in charge. And it's not Sergeant, it's Detective Inspector Dimmock. We're obviously looking at a suicide.
It does seem the only explanation of all the facts.
Wrong. It's one possible explanation of some of the facts. You've got a solution that you like, but you're choosing to ignore anything you see that doesn't comply with it.
Like?
The wound's on the right side of his head.
And?
Van Koon was left-handed. Requires quite a bit of contortion.
Left-handed?
I'm amazed you didn't notice. All you have to do is look around this flat. Coffee table on the left-hand side, coffee mug handle pointing to the left. Power sockets habitually use the ones on the left. Pen and paper on the left-hand side of the phone because he picked it up with his right and took down messages with his left. You want me to go on?
No, I think you've covered it.
I might as well. I'm almost at the bottom of the list. There's a knife on the breadboard with butter on the right side of the blade. Because he used it with his left, it's highly unlikely that a left-handed man would shoot himself in the right side of his head. Conclusion, someone broke in here and murdered him. Only explanation of all of the facts.
But the gun...
He was waiting for the killer. He'd been threatened.
What?
Today at the bank. Sort of a warning.
He fired a shot when his attacker came in.
And the bullet?
Went through the open window.
Oh, come on. What are the chances of that?
When did you get the ballistics report? Bullet in his brain wasn't fired from his gun, I guarantee it.
But if his door was locked from the inside, how did the killer get in?
Good. You're finally asking the right questions.
So he's left trying to sort of cut his hair with a fork, which of course can never be done.
It was a threat. That's what the graffiti meant.
I'm kind of at a meeting. Can you make an appointment with my secretary?
I don't think this can wait. Sorry, Sebastian. One of your traders, someone who works in your office, was killed.
What?
Van Koon. The police are at his flat.
Killed?
Sorry to interfere with everyone's digestion. Still want to make an appointment? Would maybe 9 o'clock at Scotland Yard suit?
Harrow, Oxford. Very bright guy. Worked in Asia for a while, so...
You gave him the Hong Kong accounts.
Lost $5 million a single morning, made it all back a week later. Nerves of steel, Eddie, huh?
You would want to kill him.
We all make enemies.
You don't all end up with a bullet through your temple.
Not usually. Excuse me.
It's my chairman. Police have been on to him. Apparently they're telling him it was a suicide.
Well, they've got it wrong, Sebastian. He was murdered.
Well, I'm afraid they don't see it like that.
So?
And neither does my boss. I hired you to do a job. Don't get sidetracked.
I thought bankers were all supposed to be heartless bastards.
I need you to get over to Crispian's. 2 Ming vases up for auction. Chenghua. Will you appraise them?
Su Lin should go. She's the expert.
Su Lin has resigned her job. I need you.
Just locum work.
No, that's fine.
You're, well, you're a bit overqualified.
I could always do with the money.
Well, we've got 2 away on holiday this week, and one's just left to have a baby. Might be a bit mundane for you.
No, mundane is good sometimes. Mundane works.
It says here you're a soldier.
And a doctor.
Anything else you can do?
I learned the clarinet at school.
Oh, oh, I look forward to it.
I said, could you pass me a pen?
What, when?
About an hour ago.
Didn't notice I'd gone out then. I went to see about a job at that surgery.
How was it?
Great. She's great.
Who?
The job.
She?
It.
Yeah, have a look.
The intruder who can walk through walls.
Happened last night. Journalist shot dead in his flat. Doors locked, windows bolted from the inside, exactly the same as Van Koon.
God, you think?
He's killed another one. Brian Lucas, freelance journalist, murdered in his flat. Doors locked from the inside.
You've got to admit it's similar. Both men killed by someone who can walk through solid walls.
Inspector, do you seriously believe that Eddie Van Koon was just another city suicide? You have seen the ballistics report, I suppose. And the shot that killed him, was it fired from his own gun?
No.
No. So this investigation might move a bit quicker if you were to take my word as gospel. I've just handed you a murder inquiry. 5 minutes in his flat. That's why they think they're safe. Put a chain across the door, bolted shut, think they're impregnable. They don't reckon for 1 second that there's another way in.
I don't understand.
Dealing with a killer who can climb.
What are you doing?
Clings to the walls like an insect. That's how he got in.
What?
Climbed up the side of the walls, ran along the roof, dropped in through this skylight.
You're not serious. Like Spider-Man?
He scaled 6 floors of a Docklands apartment building, jumped the balcony to kill Van Koon.
Oh, hold on.
And of course, that's how he got into the bank. He ran along the window ledge and onto the terrace. I have to find out what connects these two men. Date stamped on the book is the same day that he died. Sherlock. So, the killer goes to the bank, leaves a threatening cipher for Van Koon. Van Koon panics, returns to his apartment, locks himself in. Hours later, he dies.
The killer finds Lucas at the library. He writes the cipher on the shelf where he knows it'll be seen. Lucas goes home.
Late that night, he dies too.
Why did they die, Sherlock?
Only the cipher can tell us.
The world's run on codes and ciphers, John. From the £1 million security system at the bank to the PIN machine you took exception to. Cryptography inhabits our every waking moment.
Yes, okay, but...
But it's all computer-generated, electronic codes, electronic ciphering methods. This is different. It's an ancient device. Modern code-breaking methods won't unravel it.
Where are we headed?
I need to ask some advice.
What? Sorry?
You heard me perfectly. I'm not saying it again.
You need advice?
On painting, yes. I need to talk to an expert.
Part of my new exhibition.
Interesting.
Call it Urban Bloodlust Frenzy.
Catchy?
I've got 2 minutes before a community support officer comes round that corner. We do this while I'm working.
Know the author?
Recognise the paint. It's like Michigan, hardcore propellant. Say zinc.
What about the symbols? Do you recognize them?
Not even sure it's a proper language.
2 men have been murdered, Raz. Deciphering this is the key to finding out who killed them.
Well, this is all you got to go on. It's hardly much now, is
Are
it?
you going to help us or not?
I'll ask around.
Somebody must know something about it.
What the hell do you think you're doing? This gallery is a listed public building.
No, wait. It's not me who painted that. I was just holding this for...
bit of an enthusiast, are we?
She was right in the middle of an important piece of restoration. Why would she suddenly resign?
Family problems. She said so in her letter.
But she doesn't have a family. She came to this country on her own.
Andy.
Look, those teapots, those ceramics, they've become her obsession. She's been working on restoring them for weeks. I can't believe that she would just abandon them.
Perhaps she was getting a bit of unwanted attention.
You've been a while.
Yeah, well, you know how it is. Custody sergeants don't really like to be hurried, do they? Just formalities. Fingerprints, charge sheet, and I've got to be in magistrate's court on Tuesday.
What?
Me, Sherlock, in court on Tuesday. They're giving me an ASBO.
Good, fine.
You want to tell your little pal he's welcome to go and own up any time?
It's simple. I still can't place it. No, I need you to go to the police station,
wait.
ask about the journalist. His personal effects will have been impounded. Get hold of his diary or something that would tell us his movements.
You'll see Van Koon's PA. If you retrace their steps, somewhere they'll coincide. Scotland Yard.
Flew back from Dalian Friday. Looks like he had back-to-back meetings with the sales team.
Can you print me up a copy?
Sure.
What about the day he died? Can you tell me where he was?
Sorry, bit of a gap. I have all his receipts.
Your friend?
Listen, whatever you say, I'm behind you 100%.
He's an arrogant sod.
Well, that was mild. People say a lot worse than that.
This is what you wanted, isn't it? The journalist's diary?
What kind of a boss was he, Amanda? Appreciative?
No, that's not a word I'd use. The only things Eddie appreciated had a big price tag.
Like that hand cream. He bought that for you, didn't he? Look at this one. Got a taxi from home on the day he died, £18.50.
That would get him to the office.
Not rush hour, check the time, mid-morning. 18, we get him as far as...
The West End. I remember him saying.
Underground, printed at 1 in Piccadilly.
So he got a tube back to the office. Why would he get a taxi into town and then the tube back?
Because he was delivering something heavy. You know, like a package up the escalator.
Delivering?
To somewhere near Piccadilly Station. Dropped the package, delivered it, and then... stopped on his way. He got peckish. So you brought your lunch from here en route to the station, but where were you headed from? Where did the taxi drop you?
Right. Eddie Van Koon brought a package here the day he died. Whatever was hidden inside that case, I've managed to piece together a picture using scraps. It was written on the wall at the bank. At the line to finish the job.
What if one of them was like Fingered?
How do you mean?
Stole something. Something from the hoard.
And the killer doesn't know which of them took it, so he threatens them both, right?
Remind me, when was the last time that it rained? It's been here since Monday.
No one's been in that flat for at least 3 days. They've gone on holiday.
Do you leave your windows open when you go on holiday?
Sherlock!
Someone else has been here. Somebody else broke into the flat and knocked over the vase, just like I did.
maybe you can let me in this time. Can you not keep doing this, please?
I'm not the first.
What?
Somebody's been in here before me.
What are you saying?
Size 8 feet. Small, but athletic.
I'm wasting my breath.
Small, strong hands. Our acrobat. Why didn't he close the window when he left? Oh, stupid, stupid. Obvious. He's still here.
Anytime you want to include me. No, I'm Sherlock Holmes and I always work alone because no one else can compete with my massive intellect.
The milk's gone and the washing started to smell. Somebody left here in a hurry 3 days ago.
Somebody?
Su Lin Yao. We have to find her.
Yeah, how exactly?
We could start with this.
You've gone all croaky. You're getting a cold.
Fine. When was the last time that you saw her?
3 days ago. I'm here at the museum. This morning, they told me she'd resigned, just like that. Just left her work unfinished.
What was the last thing that she did on her final afternoon?
She does this demonstration for the tourists, a tea ceremony. So she would have packed up her things and just put them in here.
To get to Su Lin Yao.
Is she still alive?
Shut up!
Ah, look who it is.
Find something you'll like.